Hello, I'm Evie and today I'm going to talk about the human digestive system and human nutrition. The digestive system is always working to break down food, absorb nutrients and get rid of waste. Each organ has its own role and is crucial to make sure the body gets what it needs to function. Let's look at each organ individually. The mouth is made up of teeth, tongue and salivary glands. When you chew your food, your teeth breaks food down into smaller pieces. As the food gets smaller, this increases the surface area for the enzymes to work on. The salivary glands contain amylase, which is an enzyme. The esophagus is a tube which connects the mouth to the stomach. This is about 10 inches long. The esophagus moves food and liquid from the mouth into the stomach using muscular wave-like movements. The esophagus is made up of 4 layers. The first layer is the mucosa. This is a soft protective layer which makes mucus to help food go down more easily. The second layer is the submucosa, which includes glands, nerves and blood vessels, which supports the esophagus. The third layer is the muscular layer, and this has a top, middle and bottom part. The top part is voluntary muscle, which assists with swallowing. The middle part is both voluntary and involuntary muscle, and the bottom part is involuntary muscle, which forces food into the stomach. The fourth layer is the outer layer, called the adventitia, and this keeps the esophagus where it should be. The esophagus has upper and lower sphincters located at the top and bottom of the esophagus, which controls food movement. The upper sphincter opens when food is being swallowed, allowing it to pass through, and the lower sphincter opens to let the food enter into the stomach. The stomach is an important part of the digestive system and can be found on the left side of the body in the upper abdomen. The stomach gets food ready for more digestion and absorption. It is made of 4 parts: the cardia, fundus, body and pylorus. The cardia links the esophagus to the stomach. The fundus holds food before it is combined with stomach acids and accumulates gas from digestion. The body is the main part of the stomach where most of the digestion happens. And finally, the pylorus manages the movement of chyme, which is partially digested food. The walls of the stomach contract in a process called peristalsis, mixing the food into chyme. This helps break the food down into smaller pieces, which increases the surface area for enzymatic action. Once food is partially digested into chyme, the pyloric sphincter slowly releases this into the small intestine. The small intestine is a long winding tube which is about 6 to 7 metres in length, which joins the stomach to the large intestine. It is made up of 3 main parts, including the duodenum, the jejunum and the ileum. The duodenum is where most chemical digestion happens. The jejunum is the middle part and mostly plays a role in nutrient absorption. Finally, the ileum, which oversees absorbing leftover nutrients and bile salts. Food is mixed with digestive enzymes and moved along by the smooth muscles located on the walls of the small intestine. These muscles perform peristalsis. The lining of the small intestine is lined with villi and microvilli. These are tiny hair-like structures, and these increase the surface area for absorption. Once the nutrients are absorbed, they are transported through the bloodstream to be used for cells for growth, repair and energy. The large intestine is also known as the colon and is about 1.5 metres and is wider than the small intestine. The cecum is the first part of the large intestine, and this takes in material from the small intestine through the ileocecal valve. One of the most important roles of the large intestine is to absorb water, salts and some vitamins, and it also gets undigested food ready for exiting the body. Carbohydrates that cannot be entirely digested in the small intestine are cultured by gut bacteria in the large intestine. These then produce gas and fatty acids, which can be absorbed for energy. The rectum is found at the end of the large intestine, just before the anus. The main role of the rectum is to hold and remove waste material from the body. The rectum is about 12 to 15 centimetres long, and the lining is made of mucosal tissue which assists in the movement of waste. The anus is a muscular short canal and has 2 sphincters that coordinate the release of faeces. There is an internal sphincter, which is an involuntary muscle which stays contracted to prevent leakage, and the external sphincter, which is a voluntary muscle that allows conscious control over passing stool. The liver is the biggest organ. It is found in the upper right abdomen below the diaphragm. The liver is split into 2 main lobes, the right and the left. It is made up of thousands of lobules. They contain liver cells which are called hepatocytes. These cells can carry out many metabolic functions like digestion, detoxification, and nutrient storage. The liver makes yellow-green liquid called bile, which contains bile salts. These salts emulsify fats, which break them into small droplets, increasing the surface area for the involvement of enzymes. Once nutrients have been absorbed into the small intestines, nutrients such as glucose, amino acids, lipids go through the liver through the hepatic portal vein. Nutrients are kept there, transformed, and taken around the body. The liver also makes glycogen, which is released when the body needs energy. Glycogen is made when there is an overflow of glucose. The liver also cleans out toxins like alcohol and drugs so they do not get into the bloodstream. The liver helps digestion by making bile salts, which helps lipase break down fats into glycerol and fatty acids. Just beneath the liver, the gallbladder is located. This is a pear-shaped organ and is about 7 to 10 centimetres long. The main function of the gallbladder is to store, concentrate and release bile. The gallbladder is linked to bile ducts, which moves bile between the liver, gallbladder and the small intestine. When food, mainly fatty foods, enter the duodenum, the gallbladder releases bile through the bile duct into the small intestine. Bile helps with fat absorption and makes sure that fats are broken down properly in the small intestine. Bile salts also allow the enzyme lipase from the pancreas to work better, as they also help with breaking down fats. The pancreas is found behind the stomach and it is a long flat organ which is about 15 centimetres long. The function of the pancreas is to make digestive enzymes and alkaline bicarbonate. The pancreas lets out pancreatic juices which contain enzymes including amylase, lipase, protease and nuclease. These enzymes break down carbohydrates, proteins and fats into their simplest form, allowing the intestinal villi to absorb them before they go into the bloodstream. The pancreas is vital for chemical digestion as it produces essential enzymes needed to break down micronutrients. Let's look at the histology of the stomach. The stomach is a vital part in the digestive system and the role of the stomach is to combine food with stomach acid and break down them into tinier particles. The stomach can carry out its role due to the layers of the stomach wall. The stomach is made up of 4 layers, and these layers are the gastric mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa, and serosa. The deepest layer of the stomach wall is the gastric mucosa. This is made up of surface epithelium, an underlying layer of connective tissue called lamina propria, and just below this is a thin layer of smooth muscle called the muscularis mucosa. These cells create many small indentations, also known as gastric pits, which appear as tiny openings across the stomach lining. The surface mucose cells produce a thick alkaline mucus that is highly viscous and clings tightly to the cell surface. This mucus protects the lining of the stomach by stopping the abrasion from food particles, and they make a barrier from the hydrochloric acid. If we didn't have this thick mucus, the stomach acid would burn holes through the stomach wall. There are 3 types of glands depending on where they are found. Gastric glands are in the body of the stomach and make around 2 litres of gastric juice every day. Gastric glands contain peritoneal and chief cells. Peritoneal cells let out hydrochloric acid, which lowers the pH, and chief cells let out pepsinogen, which breaks down proteins. Pyloric glands are found in the lower part of the stomach, and cardia glands are found in the cardia of the stomach. Both have mucose cells which let out mucus which protects the stomach lining from acid. The lamina propria is a connective layer of tissue located beneath the surface epithelium. Its primary function is to facilitate the release of gastric gland secretions into the stomach lumen. Underneath the mucosa is a wide layer of connective tissue called the gastric submucosa. This provides both strength and flexibility. The gastric muscularis externa is made up of 3 layers: inner oblique, middle circular and outer longitudinal. These layers help with churning motions and the movement of food towards the intestine. The gastric serosa is the outermost layer of the stomach wall. This lets out serose fluid which helps the stomach reduce friction with nearby organs and protects the stomach. The duodenum possesses a unique histological structure to help with digestion, absorption and neutralization of stomach acid. It has 4 layers. The first layer is the mucosa. This contains villi, goblet cells and endocytes. Villi and microvilli increase surface area for absorption. The mucosa also contains a smooth layer which aids the movement of digestive contents. The second layer contains Brunner glands, which are only found in the duodenum. These glands secrete alkaline mucus which has bicarbonate to help neutralise stomach acid and protects the intestinal lining. This layer has two layers of smooth muscle, the inner circular layer which helps in peristalsis and the outer longitudinal layer which moves food forward. It also contains urbex plexus which controls motility. This is the outermost layer, and this is a smooth membrane containing a thin layer of cells that allows serose fluid which protects the duodenum and reduces friction against other organs. The ileum is the last and longest part of the small intestine, and this connects to the large intestine through the ileocecal valve. Functions of the ileum include the absorption of nutrients, immune defense, peristalsis, and prepares waste for elimination. It consists of four main histological layers. The first layer is the mucosa. This absorbs nutrients, secretes mucus to shield the lining, contains Peyer's patches which helps with the body's immune protection, and contains villi and microvilli which increases surface area. The submucosa contains connective tissue with blood vessels and nerves. This layer provides support and elasticity and moves absorbed nutrients. The muscularis externa contains two layers of smooth muscle, the inner circular layer which helps in segmentation and peristalsis, and the outer longitudinal layer which pushes food towards the large intestine. The ileum is coated by serosa, a layer of visceral peritoneum which decreases restriction between the intestine and the organs surrounding it. The liver has many vital roles within digestion. One of the main functions is bile production, which is stored in the gallbladder. The liver also plays a role in the metabolism of nutrients. Once food has been digested into the stomach and intestine, the liver then processes nutrients from the blood. The liver stores glucose as glycogen, changes excess proteins into amino acids, and synthesizes essential proteins like albumin and clotting factors. Albumin helps to control blood volume and pressure, and clotting factors are significant to blood coagulation. The liver ensures harmful substances do not build up in the body, and the liver does this by detoxifying harmful substances from the blood. A balanced diet in humans includes an array of nutrients that support general health. These nutrients can be broken down into 7 crucial requirements which all have a certain purpose in the body. We will look at the 7 requirements individually. The main role of carbohydrates is to provide the body with energy. This energy is essential for bodily functions such as physical activity, controlling body temperature, and brain function. The main role of proteins is to build and repair tissues. Proteins are made up of amino acids which are vital for the upkeep, growth, and repair of tissues, including muscles, skin, and organs. Proteins help to heal wounds, regenerate cells, hormone regulation, produce antibodies that help protect the body against infection and diseases, and give support to cells and tissues. Lipids provide a concentrated source of energy, which means they're an efficient form of energy reserve for the body. When the body needs energy, this stored fat can be broken down and used as fuel. Vitamins play a role in supporting different biochemical processes and maintaining overall health. Vitamins are very important to make sure enzymes are functioning properly. Vitamins have a job in strengthening the immune system and defending the body from infection and diseases. They help with collagen formation, cell growth, and vision. They are important for bone health and development. The main role of minerals include providing strength for bones and teeth, supporting nerve and muscle function, regulating water levels in and out of cells, and they strengthen the immune system. There are 2 types of fibre, soluble and insoluble. Insoluble fibre bulks stools, supports food in going through the digestive system, and prevents constipation. Soluble fibre helps lower blood cholesterol, slows digestion down, and dissolves in water to make a gel-like substance. The main role of water is to maintain the body's temperature, supporting the breakdown of food, helps in the removal of waste products, aids the kidneys filter waste, and helps lubricate joints. Dietary imbalance happens when the body does not get the proper level of nutrients needed for ideal well-being. When this imbalance occurs, it can lead to a range of health issues, and if left untreated, this can increase the risk of chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and osteoporosis. We are going to look at the certain deficiencies in more detail. When someone is deficient in protein, they may get kwashiorkor or marasmus. Symptoms of kwashiorkor can include edema, irritability, fatigue, slow development, dry skin, changes in hair colour, and impaired immune function. Marasmus symptoms include weight loss, wasting muscles, weakness, fatigue, and restricted growth. Not getting enough vitamins can lead to serious health issues as well. A vitamin A deficiency can lead to night blindness and dry eyes. Lacking in vitamin C can lead to scurvy, causing fatigue, bleeding gums, and bruising. A vitamin D deficiency can cause rickets in children, leading to weak bones and fractures. Lacking in vitamin B1 can lead to tiredness, muscle loss, and nerve problems. And a vitamin B12 deficiency can lead to anemia. Symptoms include pale skin, breathlessness, and nerve damage if left untreated. Lacking essential minerals can impact health significantly. An iron deficiency can cause anemia, which causes tiredness, pale skin, dizziness, and breathlessness. If you're lacking in calcium, this may lead to weak bones, cramps, and tingling in hands and feet. A deficiency in iodine can cause growth, weight gain, fatigue, and slow brain development in children. A magnesium deficiency can cause cramps, weakness, fatigue, and irregular heartbeat. If someone's lacking in essential fatty acids like omega-3 or omega-6, this can cause dry skin, hair loss, brittle nails, fatigue, and even delayed wound healing. In some serious cases, this can cause children to have reduced brain function and developmental setbacks. A deficiency in carbohydrates can cause hyperglycemia, which is a condition where blood sugar levels drop too low. Symptoms of this include weakness, dizziness, confusion, fatigue, sweating, and shaking. This can lead to unconsciousness or seizures. Dietary imbalances can have major impacts on our health. Proper nutrition is so important in preventing deficiency diseases and maintaining overall well-being. It's important to consume a variety of foods that ensures that the body receives all the nutrients that it needs. Current diet recommendations include a diet full of fruit, vegetables, whole grains, and nuts, as these provide vital vitamins, minerals, and fibre, which supports overall health and reduces inflammation. Prioritising unsaturated fats help keep your heart healthy. Reducing sugary foods, drinks, processed foods, and sodium can keep healthy blood sugar levels, avoid obesity and diabetes, and help manage blood pressure. Staying hydrated is important as this helps digestion, healthy skin, and energy levels. In summary, the human digestive system plays a crucial role in the breaking down of foods, finding the right nutrients, and giving our body the energy it needs to function. From the beginning right to the end, each part of the digestive system has a vital role. Just like the digestive process, proper human nutrition is very important to maintain a healthy body. Poor nutrition can lead to various health conditions. As we keep learning more about how these systems interact, it becomes increasingly clear that maintaining a balanced diet and healthy digestive system are key factors in leading a long, healthy life. Thank you for listening.